My stepmother kicked me out mid-dinner because I asked her to support my wedding. Now my dad is probably rolling in his grave, and I'm 2 seconds from suing her out of that house. Entitled Parents, cross-posted to wedding drama, stepmom from hell and vindictive people unite. I didn't want to post here but my therapist is on vacation and my friends are trying not to take sides, which is hilarious considering how I was ambushed and humiliated by my stepmother. Let's call her Kathy. Not her real name but close enough to cold-hearted cow. I, 26F, am planning my wedding to the love of my life, Travis, 28M, kind, loyal and yes, gainfully employed. And we're having a modest, tasteful celebration that happens to include things like a private vineyard, imported florals and a Michelin-starred chef. Is that a crime? Am I not allowed to want something beautiful after the absolute trauma I've endured growing up without a stable father figure? My dad, Richard, passed away 4 years ago. May he rest in peace. He married Kathy when I was 14. He was always polite. Cold but polite. Think Stepford wife, but with passive-aggressive beige cardigans. She always made it clear I was the outsider. After my dad died, she locked that house up like a mausoleum. I barely ever got to stay there growing up, and after he passed she completely cut me off from anything remotely related to his memory. No photos, no belongings, nothing. Meanwhile, her kids, twins 17, weirdly obsessed with defending her like she's a Disney princess, live in that big house like they own the place. Anyway, let's get to the dinner from hell. The proposal. I had carefully prepared a PowerPoint outlining our wedding budget. Yes, I'm organized. No, I'm not ashamed. I brought it to dinner to include Kathy and the kids. Make them feel involved. Thought it would be a bonding moment. I presented the venue cost, the catering, the guest list, the dress fittings. I said, and I quote, "We're looking at around $137,000 to pull everything off." I even showed them how we've already paid for the photographer and DJ with our own money. I just needed help with the big-ticket items. I then gently suggested that since the house is way too large for just her and the twins, literally 5 bedrooms, a study, a basement theater and a freaking sunroom, maybe she could sell it and downsize. Use some of the money to help with the wedding. It's not like she's scraping by. She works in publishing and got my dad's life insurance. And this woman looks at me like I asked her to sacrifice a goat on the dining room table. The meltdown. She said, and again I quote, "You want me to sell my home so you can fund a party for a man you've known for less than a year? First of all, it's not a party. It's a wedding. A once-in-a-lifetime union of souls. Second of all, just because she's bitter and alone doesn't mean I should settle for a courthouse and a cupcake." Then her son Max, who looks like he sells overpriced coffee and TikToks about ethics, stood up like he was about to deliver a TED Talk on boundaries. "This is our home. It's where Dad died. Where we grieved. You have no right." No right. No right? My own father? I am literally his daughter. Flesh and blood. And I'm being lectured by a high schooler who still calls his mom mommy in public? Yes, he does. I heard it. Olivia, the daughter, just sat there with her eyebrows up to her hairline, whispering stuff under her breath like a discount Regina George. The ejection. Kathy then stood up mid-risotto, like she was in some kind of Victorian novel, and told me to get out. Like that. Get out of my house. Build your own kingdom. I don't care about your fantasy wedding. And the kicker, may your vows be cheaper than your venue. Excuse me? What kind of sociopath uses wedding shade as a mic drop moment? Travis was mortified. I was devastated. I barely had 2 bites of dinner. And this was after I drove 45 minutes in heels and brought her a candle from Bath & Body Works. Peach Bellini. Plus, the fallout. I left in tears. Travis held me all night. I sent her 3 respectful voice notes explaining how she hurt me, an email laying out why I felt abandoned, and yes, a Facebook post just to express my pain, which people are now calling a tirade. Rude. She hasn't responded to anything. Max even blocked me on Instagram. And now my mom is talking about taking her to court to get what's mine, since my dad always said I would inherit the house. Kathy probably manipulated him into changing the will. Wouldn't be surprised. I've spent the last week trying to figure out if I'm in the wrong. Everyone's telling me to just let it go and plan a simpler wedding. But I'm sorry, this woman married into the family. I was born into it. And now she's playing queen of the castle while I'm out here begging for scraps? So Reddit, am I really the villain here for wanting support from my stepmother for the most important day of my life? Or is she a cold, manipulative gold digger hoarding memories that don't even belong to her? Also, if anyone knows a good real estate lawyer, message me.